themarshallman.com.
So set 5 to me is more about how to use the fascia, especially the fascia and the forearms, because of when we clench and twist the fist this way, we are working a lot of the fascia and the tendons here in the arms. And we learn how to use the action in the fascia to both draw in energy and create energy, okay? Meaning that I can use the fascia to suck in the opponent's energy and can also release the fascia to release the energy, right? So that's the one part of it. The other part of it is you learn how to project E to the hands. In this case, in this form, we're using mostly fists. We don't have an open palm, but we are learning to project the E, the intention, and the Jing to the knuckles here and the knuckles at the back here, all right? And as we know, the saying goes, Yi Dao, Jing Dao, right? So where the E goes, we can then allow the Jing to follow. Okay? So we can make the Jing go where we want by projecting the E to the fingers, or rather the knuckles here. Now, the other part of this form, which I like to mention, is, again, this is a good example of where outside moves the inside. So if you have the fist like this, and this is horizontal, and your elbows are along your strings here, if you do this, you feel that it actually pulls the back string down, right? And the front string here. And if you do this, see, now it pulls the back string up and the front string down. So just by not moving the forearm, you can try, you see what happens here, here, and especially here. See, by keeping still, as you curl, imagine putting the E here, you grip. You see what happens, right? This starts to tighten up, this tightens up, right? And then when you push these knuckles down without releasing the fist, you just grip a bit. You feel now the Mingmen really tightens, right? And you find the front here tightens. So just by doing this, you're actually learning to activate the fascia here and here. And this is why you can, together with the tendons and the fascia here, you can generate the energy to the knuckles, right? So to demonstrate, okay, you grab me, right? Let's say if you stand on your stance. Now, if you pull me, let's say I go into my stance, I will resist you, right? I will try to put my weight at the back so that Kiran cannot pull me, right? Yeah? And we will then end up seeing who is stronger. Now, if I'm in a position like this, no matter how much weight I throw at the back, he will be able to pull me, right? Because my stability and structure is just not there. Now, let's say he gives me pressure. Now, what I do is I squeeze, and in doing so, I want to tighten the fascia here. And in doing so, this draws his energy in. So, okay, you start pulling. I'm standing like this. I can even stand on one leg here. There. I've already drawn his energy in, right? Without moving, just by using tightening the fascia and the tendons here, right? You feel
absolutely
like your strength is being vacuumed away.
Absolutely, that, yes, and being vacuumed in, that's the feeling.
So that's the idea. And similarly, if you're pushing, okay, so I draw in and I just release. So what I've done is I treat it like a rubber band. I tighten the rubber band, and again, without moving, there, just by releasing, I do the fasting. And this really comes from the tendons.
Yeah, I mean, obviously people cannot see this through the camera.
Yeah.
You need to be able to hold Master Yap's arm to feel what's happening. But when you did the first movement where you're drawing me in, all of your fascia here is moving backwards.
Yeah,
you can feel everything moving backwards. And then when you did the opposite, everything is shooting forwards. There's a lot of physical movement that's happening under the skin.
Under the skin, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is what number 5 teaches you about, So if you can learn how to use the fascia here, imagine you can use the fascia in your torso, in your legs, and you can do the same thing by learning how to pull or tighten and releasing the fascia And this is where you get the skills of learning how to generate Jing or drawing in the Jing. Right? So again, this is things we want to teach in the more advanced courses. But you must already be familiar with the form, because if you're not familiar with the movements, then it's going to be hard to focus on the details. So we hope, you practice the form with diligence. Then when we come to the workshops, we can go right into a deep dive and work on all these fine points. There are many ways of mobilizing the fascia. You can pull, contract, pull, contract, right? Or let the fascia expand, shoot out, like you pull a rubber band or you compress a spring to let it shoot out. So there's the compress and release, there's the pull and vacuum, you can say, right? You can also spiral, right? And so on. And if you connect the fascia, say, in the forearm, with the upper arm, with the torso, then you get this multiplier effect. So you have to, so that's why we say everything comes from the feet, right? Or Wing Chun saying power comes from the ground. That's because you're generating the power from the fascia, from your feet, your calves, your thighs, your torso, all the way to the arm. So you learn to chain all those components together. And that's what gives you that short range power and, well, the fighting.